Hi, welcome back to 6th grade math. I hope you're realizing as you finished 2.2 puzzle time the other day with me that dividing with fractions is not nearly as difficult as you thought. That you're starting to realize that once you get the multiplying by the reciprocal, that it's very much exactly like what we were doing in lessons 2.1 as well. Take a look at your worksheet there. Numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are just the writing the reciprocal of the number. So remember the reciprocal is you flip it. Number 2 is the only tricky one because 6 is not a fraction yet. So write 6 over 1 and then write the reciprocal. I am not going to help you with that. Take a look then also, drop down to number 15, please. You should have out a piece of lined notebook paper, because that's what I told you to do on the last worksheet. Label up number 15 and take a look at that. They want to know whether the two fractions are reciprocals. So if you took 5/8 and you wrote the reciprocal, would it be 16 over 10? So write no. And what would the reciprocal be of 5/8? So you need no, and then you need what the true reciprocal would be. Okay, take a look at number 16. They give you this one. When you flip it, when you write the reciprocal, this is what you get. Is this the same as this? So on your paper, you simply need to write yes. Okay. Take a look back then at number 17. I think you should have the pattern then, right? 2/3, when you write flip it, is the reciprocal 12 over 18. Write yes or no. You should write no. And then write what it should be. For number 18, if I'm going too fast, hit pause, because you should also be labeling your paper up. For number 18 then, 4 over 7. Is that the right reciprocal? Write yes or no. If you wrote no, what should the reciprocal be? Okay. Number 19. You know I'm a math nerd, so I just kind of really love that. I need to flip to a different screen so I can see it a little bit better. Number 19 is just kind of fun for me. Okay. This will also show up on your math test later on, so make sure that you're following along with this one, okay? You want to make this statement equal to 1, okay? So think about what you know about math, right? Think also about what you were doing with cross-reducing earlier, okay? So, trying to think about how to explain this to you, okay? Because this needs to equal 1, this needs to equal 1, but think about cross-reducing, right? Because we were doing a lot of crossing here, and it was equaling 1, right? So think about that. If this was going to equal 1, what would we have to cross over here to equal 1? Does that help at all? You'd have to have a 7 over here, because then those would cross out. What would we have to, if we were going to cross this out to equal 1, what would we have to put down here? Does that help? We'd also have a 10 here. So let me rewrite that without all the crossing. This was originally what they gave you. If we multiplied that by this, it would equal 1. There's a couple ways I can prove that to you. I could do the cross-reducing. This cross reduces, these become 1, these become 1. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1. I could also just multiply across, and that is 70 over 70, and that is equal to 1. okay? Here's what I want you to notice. Do you see this? What's the reciprocal of 10 over 7? See, I told you I'm a math nerd. When you multiply a number by its reciprocal, it always equals 1. Isn't that crazy? So here on number 19, this is the answer that you need to record down. Because whenever you multiply a number by its reciprocal, it will always equal 1. Number 20 then is just slightly different. You've got 8, and you're going to divide it into pieces, and you're going to end up with more than you started? How does that happen? All right, well, think about the rules up above, right? Let's turn this into a fraction, and then we're going to multiply it by something to equal, we could turn this into a fraction to make it help. So 8 times what is 24? Use your chart. 8 times what is 24? Okay, 3. What goes down here? 1 times what is 1? 1. Okay, but remember up here, when we're dividing, we multiply by the reciprocal. So to find what we want up here, we need the reciprocal. So flip this answer around. And that's your answer for your worksheet, is this one right here. You took 8 things. Let's say you took 8 cookies. You split them into 3 pieces each. You split them into thirds, and you ended up with 24 pieces. That's how you started with 8 things, and you ended up with more than you started with. Okay? Here's what you need. Write that down. Let's take a look at your story problem here. Oh, you have 3 story problems. Number 21, you have 2/3 of a pizza. Make sure you have your worksheet label, please. You divide the remaining pizza into 4 equal pieces. What fraction of the pizza is each slice? Well, look up above. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to keep this. Uh-oh, this isn't a fraction yet. So this becomes 4 over 1. We need to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, we can't cross reduce here because this is already a 1. If you follow your 2 across, will you ever hit 4? Can you tell I'm tired? Keep holding my head today. Yes, you will. All right, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 times what gives you 4? 2. So multiply and multiply, and then you need a label. Go back and look at your problem. Pause. All right, let's look at number 22. You have 5 quarts of paint. It takes 5/8 quarts of paint for each chair you're asked to paint. So how many chairs can you paint? So if you think about it, here's your paint. And you're slowly dividing out 5/8 of it each time. And so they're trying to figure out how many chairs can you get covered. So, oh, I moved off the screen. So we're going to keep and then multiply by that reciprocal. This isn't a fraction yet, so we're going to fix that on your second line. Hope you're still using your line notebook paper. Multiply by the reciprocal. 8 over 5. You getting better about seeing where you can cross reduce? Can you cross reduce here? Can you cross reduce here? Yes. Nathan, I imagine you're at the point where you're like, I'm done. I don't need Mrs. Spitzley anymore. These both become 1. Okay? Whatever you come up with here, it's going to become a whole number because it's sitting over 1. So you're going to have a whole number and then look back because you need a label. Pause and solve. Number 23. Is the reciprocal of a fraction always a whole number? And then explain. So let's take a look. It's always best if you can come up with some examples. So let's see. Let's do this example and this example. We want to know, is the reciprocal always a whole number? Well, reciprocal of 1/5 is 5 over 1, which equals 5. Is that a whole number? Yes, this is a whole number. Okay, reciprocal of this. Is that a whole number? No. And some of you might go, well, Mrs. Bisley, that's an improper fraction. And 2 will go into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract that. I have 1 left over. Piece size stays the same. There's a whole number in there. There's also a fraction. And so this is what's called a mixed number. It's a little mixed up. It's got a whole number and a fraction. So if you look back at your story problem, the question is the reciprocal always a whole number? Well, look, did we prove it? Is it always a whole number? The answer is no. It's not always a whole number. It's only ever a whole number if 1 is in the numerator. So your answer is no. And then you could write because, and then you could use this example right up here to help you with your answer for that. Okay, pause and record. All right, let's take a look at some of those actual problems that you have up above. I'm looking at problems 5 through 13. Trying to decide if any of them look harder than the others because they just should be getting so easy for you. Number 5, we've got 1/6 divided by 1/3. Write it down on your sheet. Look at the steps up above. Going to keep and multiply by the reciprocal. Here we go. Keep, multiply by the reciprocal. Right back to multiplying again. So, cannot cross reduce. If you follow your 3 across, will you ever run into 6? Yes. So we can divide both of those by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 times what is 6? 2. Multiply. Find your answer. See you back in a minute. All right, looking at number 6 then. You have 3/4 divided by 6. A lot of kids will try to do this and try to do this in their head and do the reciprocal all at the same time. You cannot do that. I do not recommend it. You need to make this a fraction before you do your reciprocal. So you need to have this on your paper before you do your reciprocal. Okay? Look up above. Keep this. And then you're going to, have you got it yet? Multiply by the reciprocal. Now you can flip it around because you can see it. This is 1. You can't do anything about that. We just did this. Have 3 in common. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Follow your 3 across. 3 times what gives you 6? Pause, solve, record. All right, here comes your next one. Let's do a couple more together. I'm just scanning ahead to see if there's anything difficult. Let's do number 7. You've got 3/5 divided by 2/15. Up above. You're going to keep this, and then you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay. If you follow your 5 across, will you ever hit 15? Yes. So 5 to 5, you're dividing them by 5. That becomes 1. 5 times what gives you 15? Good. If you follow your 2 across, will you ever hit 3? No. So multiply and multiply. I'm going to stick with you. Now do you see why I stuck with you? You think you can do this on your own? Why don't you pause? I want to see what you can do with this improper fraction. When you get stuck, or you've got the answer, unpause and see how far you got, okay? Welcome back. Did you get all the way to the end? So this is your division line. 2, how close can you get to 9 without going over? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, too far. 2, 4, 6, 8. You can go 4, which was 8. Oh, I wrote that too big. 9 minus 8 is 1, and my piece size stays the same. So it is 4.5. Did you get it? If not, keep trying. You'll get it. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's try number 10. I'll do this one and one more with you. So you've got 10 divided by 2/7. Remember, you can't do anything until you have all fractions. So this becomes 10 over 1. Keep. Looking at the rules. 10 over 1. Keep. And you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Is the poster helping you, or is it just annoying? It really helped the 7th graders last year. Can't do anything here. It's already a 1. 2. Just keep count by 2s. Will you ever get to 10? So you can divide both of these by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 times what gives you 10? 5. Multiply across, multiply across. You're going to end up with a 1 here, so remember that's going to end up being a whole number. Pause and come back when you've got your answer. Okay, I'm going to let you do 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 on your own. Why don't you skip ahead on your worksheet? I want you to label up number 14, and I will do number 14 with you as well. Those just are something that you're still learning to answer on your own, okay? Says, so number 14, do you have it labeled on your paper? Describe and correct the error in finding the quotient. Quotient is our vocabulary word for the answer to a division problem. So to find it, you gotta solve it. So let's write it down. You've got 3/4 divided by 6 equals, right? Use your steps. Remember I said you have to start with division with fractions, okay? So this becomes 6 over 1. Now, we've been working down our problems. They just wrote across. I know when I helped Levi with a similar type of problem a couple weeks ago on a worksheet, he got all thrown off. I'm like, nope, we do our problems down on this worksheet. They just did it across. Don't let that panic you, okay? So look at your steps up above. We're going to keep this. And we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal here is 1/6. So go ahead and pause. Take a look at the worksheet. Does that match? I'm looking here. They have 3/4. Is that a times 6 over 1? So that looks pretty much okay, doesn't it? All right, so then let's keep going. Let's see. Can we cross reduce here? No. Can we reduce here? Yes. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 times what gives you 6? 2. Okay, multiply across here, multiply across here. Oh, and I just realized the error. Did you? Did you catch my error too? Go back to right here. We had 3/4 times 1/6. Look at your worksheet. They had 3/4 divided by 6/1. Did they have the reciprocal? No, they did not. So here's your correct answer, because that's one thing, right? They said describe and correct. So we have corrected it. Now we need to describe it. Right, here's what they didn't do. Okay, so we can say they did not. How do you solve a division problem? A dividing fraction problem? You two things, right? You multiply. They did not multiply by the, what is it? They didn't multiply by the, did you say it? Okay. That's what you need for that answer. Okay. This is the last problem I'm doing with you. The rest is on your own. Remember, you have Miss Davis to help you. You also have Miss Sizemore. I hope to be back soon. I'll make new videos if I'm not. Keep working hard. I love you guys. I'll be back soon. Get this answer down.